the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire. This is Chris Reardon.
And very good morning to you. It's Saturday, the 1st of February 2014. A warm welcome along. I'm back from my holiday to this morning's live chat show. This is United Kingdom Talk. And often people say, how do you know you're live? Well, have a little look at your clock now. If it's just gone midday on Saturday, the 1st of February 2014, you are with us live. If it's any other time of the day or year or month, maybe it's another century, boys and girls. Maybe people are watching this in like 300 years' time and thinking, what the hell is he going on about? Maybe they think that everyone in the world was like me in 2014. Well, let me tell you, boys and girls, if you are in the future, and you are in another 200-300 years' time, let me tell you, everyone is not like me. Most people are, unfortunately, very boring. I try to fill the world with smiles and laughs, even at the times that I'm at death's door myself or totally depressed. I'm still here smiling, boys and girls, and I am back from my holiday. Do you notice a little bit of a tan? It's not, it's not like brown, but the weather in Florida was very nice. And I'm so pleased a lot of you saw the short videos that I did with my nephew while I was away on holiday. And if you missed any of those, you can always watch them again by going to youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. That's my YouTube page, okay? youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. And there you will find all the, about 12 or 13 very short videos, 2 or 3 minutes long, of our daily holiday trips to Disney and SeaWorld. Where else did we go? Shopping. There's videos of every day. I tried to say, I think my nephew might have got a little bit fed up doing the videos. I'm not sure, but I did try and force him to smile. Which he wasn't doing that when he came. He wanted to stay there. He seriously wanted to stay there. I've got to say, after landing at Heathrow Airport, landing at Gatwick Airport last Friday, not yesterday, the Friday before, and we landed, we come through the airport, come out the other end, and it was all so grey and raining. And has it ever stopped raining since? No! It just keeps coming, doesn't it? I was looking at the BBC News 24 this morning, and they had the flood alerts, and there's large areas of the country now that have got this red, sticker thing on that they put on the maps that have got possible very, very serious flood alerts, especially down there in Cornwall and Devon. Cornwall and Devon, if you don't know, is down the southwest of the UK. It's that like leg that sticks out. And they've got a lot of water down there. Great areas of farmland completely submerged in flood water. And that part of the UK does tend to be the warmest part, but what have you swapped the warmth for, when you get floods like that? It's awful. Absolutely awful. And I just feel lucky, it's all very well to want to live in a house, with a little stream down the end of it, or perhaps a river nearby, and you look at the river and it's not particularly bad, it's not particularly high. I don't think you realise really how quickly these rivers and streams can become torrents of water pouring down. Do you remember a couple of years ago, was it either last year or the year before, again in Cornwall, an entire village was almost washed away when these masses of water came down the hill, took cars and buildings and trees into the sea. It's awful. So if you're down there in Somerset, my heart really does go out to you. Beautiful part of the world, Somerset and Devon, but with the water, you've got to ask yourself, do you really want to live near the seaside or things like that? I know there's parts of the north-south, is it the west? Is it the sort of Wales side of the country today is being battered by high tides and winds and all that? But as I say, if you check the BBC weather maps, you'll see vast areas. They've all got this red splodge on, where the floods can possibly happen. No floods, of course, in Florida. The weather there most of the time was nice and sunny. We left, I think it was January the 11th. We came back, not yesterday, but the Friday before. And if you were watching our short videos, you will know that I almost got the date wrong. We were sitting there at Disney's Magic Kingdom. No, Disney's Hollywood Studios, watching the most fantastic show I've ever seen in my life. It's called Fantasmic. Fantasmic. Now, make a little note of that. And when we finish the show today, go onto YouTube and find that show. There's a couple of high definition versions. I don't think Disney have made them themselves, but it's kind of, someone's set up a couple of video recorders and recorded it and put it online for everyone to watch. Watching it on video is one thing. Actually being there is something else. You have never seen anything like it in your life. What Disney have done is bring together water fountains, fireworks, live action, UVs, special effect lightings. It's absolutely out of this world fantasmic. It includes all the Disney characters that go round on a big boat at the end of it. There are witches. I love the witches I just love the witches in Disney. Don't you? They're hilarious. There were parts in the show, and I have to say, some of the show was, I thought, quite scary for younger children. But it always has a happy ending, prince and princess fall in love and go off, and the witch usually disappears into oblivion. They never tell you the witch actually dies, do they? It's always something like, Mickey, you may have got me this time, but I'll be back. Don't you worry, and stuff like that all the time. I love it. I love the witches laughing. I said that on one of my short videos this week, didn't I? And the laugh goes on and on and on. We love it. We absolutely love it. I would love to be a Disney witch. As luck would have it, not for me, because I get the feeling that Disney wouldn't want me as a witch. Number one, I'm the wrong sex. Do you need to be a woman to be a witch? Or maybe I could do it in drag. There's an idea. Because most witches are a bit old and haggard, and I'm looking at myself in the monitor over there, and yes, perhaps so. Most witches are old and haggard, so perhaps I've got that part of it right. But I was telling people at a karaoke night twice this week about my holiday with my nephew. And last Sunday at the Black Cat, where I do karaoke in Camden Town on Sundays from 9 o'clock, I told the story of the witches and how I like them. Well, blow me down. One of the regulars came up to the stage and told me she used to be a witch at Disney in Paris. And she said, hold on a minute, without me saying anything else. She ran down to her little table, come back up again with her mobile phone, and there was a picture of her as a witch. How fantastic is that? Now, which one was she? She was the one with the two black horns. I think, is that the one in Cinderella? Anyone know? Was it the one with the two black horns? I'm not sure. Anyway, so she had these pictures, and I said, that's fantastic. I said, what was it like? She said, it was great. She loved doing it, but 6 months was enough. And I asked why. And she said, it's really hard work. They do 12-hour days. If you work for Disney, you work very hard for very little money. But it's the fun of doing it. And I suppose it very much depends on how long you can keep that fun going, perhaps for yourself. Of course, very important to keep the fun going for the customers, isn't it? And little children. There's tiny little children there. You've got to be smiling and waving all the time like that. I think I could do that part of it. I do think I could do the smiling and waving. Because I'm quite a happy person when I'm out. Like that all the time. But 12-hour days. Don't know about that. So they must get there. I suppose they must have a few witches and a few Mickey Mouses, you know, people put the costume on. And they're always in character. When you see these characters walking around Disney in Florida, okay, they're always in characters. I overheard a couple of conversations between character and customer, and you know, oh, this must be really hard for you dressing up. And they're like, well, no, this is me. You know, we're not dressed up. This is me. They are constantly in character. You can't trip them up. Jimmy and I accidentally went to do a meet and greet with Snow White and Rapunzel. We thought it was a ride. So we're queuing up for over an hour, or almost an hour, and we went through these doors and these two princesses are standing there. And we looked at each other and we thought, oh, what have we come into here? And it was indeed a meet and greet. So I said to Jimmy, well, we can't just walk through now. It's going to look rude. We're going to have to go through with this. And first of all, we were called over to Rapunzel. Oh, hello, how are you? And actually, I could tell she was a bit tired. The smile was not quite there. Do you know what I mean? The smile was not quite there. And I said, oh, thanks very much. I said, we didn't know this was a meet and greet thing. And she was just totally in character the whole time. How do you keep smiling like this all the time? Oh, we're just happy people here. Like that. And it's all a little bit like that. I suppose the people in charge of Disney and all that, they must go around and check on them, I would guess. Do you think? You know, go around checking that everyone's smiling, and they would get told off if they weren't. Because really, that's what it's all about. You know, that's what you're paying your tickets for. There's thousands and thousands of people going to Disney every day. And similarly, thousands and thousands of people are employed by Disney. It's also interesting to note that whoever you ask, whether it be, you know, someone with an official badge on, or someone sweeping the floor, or someone serving the popcorn, they all seem to know all the information that you require. Like, you know, could you tell us where the restroom is, the toilet? Can you tell us where the nearest cup of tea is? And they were always able to direct us exactly to where we wanted to go. It wasn't all, I'm not sure, can you go and ask information or something like that. They all just knew. They're very, very well trained. Very, very well trained. My favourite show, as I say, was Fantasmic. Please go on YouTube and look that one up. You'll be totally amazed. It's good on the video. Of course, it's even better if you can go to Florida and see it. I don't know if the same show is on at Paris Disney. Gotta tell you, if you've ever been to Florida Disney and you're thinking of going to Paris Disney, don't bother. Alright? Once you've done the Florida one, that's it. You can't go back again. I think I might check and see if that show's on. Let me have a look. Is it Fantasmic Paris Disney? Let's see if it's on there. Don't know if it is. No, it's not. Disney Dreams is the one at Paris, it says. 1 minute. Is it? Is it Disney Dreams? Oh, it's the 20th. Is it the 20th anniversary of having the Paris one? Follow the second star to the right and see the greatest Disney stories ever told. Immersing Sleeping Beauty Castle. You've seen the electrical parades, you've seen the fireworks, but you've never seen anything quite like this at Disneyland Paris. With the launch of the 20th anniversary, the culmination of your day in the park will just be that. A dazzling, show-stopping ending, combing fountains, fireworks, projections, lasers, fire, never before seen special effects. Oh, and they've got a high definition video as well. Well, that says 2013, so I don't know about now. Not quite sure about that now. So there we go. Fantastic time at Disney. I don't know what else to say about that, really. We also went to Universal. And they have 2 parks. Disney have, I think, 4 parks. They have Hollywood Studios, which used to be called MGM. They've got Magic Kingdom. They've got Animal something or other, and Epcot, and all are good. My least favourite, although I did enjoy it, was Animal Kingdom. Wasn't too keen on that. Don't know why. Couldn't put my finger on it, but it's the smaller of all of them, and not too keen on Animal Kingdom. My favourite was, I think, MGM or Magic Kingdom, one of those 2. Now, Universal, they have 2 parks: Islands of Adventure and Universal, what's it called? Movie Studios. Universal Studios. Universal Studios I like very much. Quite similar to the Hollywood Studios of Disney. Islands of Adventure I felt was more directed to older children. A lot of roller coasters. An awful lot of roller coasters. And I'm not really into roller coasters. In fact, I don't go on them. End of story. You know. I mean, my favourite ride in the whole of the weekend was Disney's It's a Small World. La 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 la, which I've been on before. And it's had a paint job as well. It all looks so bright and sparkling and fresh. Very, very clean. So they've obviously done that up recently. That's my favourite ride, It's a Small World. Not into roller coasters, and therefore going into the Universal Islands of Adventures was a bit of a waste of time for me. Also, I thought with Universal, you are very much directed towards more shopping in there. You know, little souvenirs and little cuddly toys of the various characters and things, and food everywhere, and I very much felt they were trying to push me to shop all the time, which I didn't feel in Disney. There's probably just as many shops in Disney, but you've kind of got to want to go into one. They're down Main Street. Most of them are down Main Street. If you're thinking about Magic Kingdom, all the shops are down there, right? And each ride has a shop near it. But I didn't feel compelled to buy anything. You know, it was there. Do you want to go in there or not? No, don't want to go in there. Okay. Whereas with Universal, you felt all the time you were being pushed to do more shopping. I don't know if any of you've been there at all, but how you felt about that. Also, Islands of Adventure for me was a bit of a waste of time. I think Jimmy enjoyed it there. They did have a brand new Harry Potter section there, which looked fantastic. You know, they've got the massive castle, and what they've built there is fantastic. But it all seemed to be gathered round a couple of roller coasters. And as I said to you just then, I'm not into roller coasters. So take the roller coasters out of the Harry Potter section at Universal, and you're left with very little. There's a shop there, of course, that you can go in and buy stuff like magic wands and that sort of thing. But again, the difference between the shops in Universal and the shops... Well, I mean, in Universal, there was a security bloke in there, probably making sure no one steals anything, which I completely understand. But there wasn't any of that in Disney. It's very much... I don't know how to explain it. It's very much more relaxed in the Disney one. Also, in the Universal, there's not so much of this happy, smiley, wavy type culture. Some of them look downright miserable working there. I mean, they really did. Except the people in the Christmas shop. I like to go in the little Christmas shops. They've got beautiful glass baubles and all this business. Don't dare bring any of it home because it'll all smash in a suitcase. You know, these things are very, very, very fragile indeed, aren't they? So I didn't bring anything back from there other than a few cuddly toys. I don't think we bought cuddly toys from any of the Disney. Oh yes, Jimmy did. Jimmy bought some little presents back for his niece and his 2 nephews. My nephew has got nephews and a niece. How mad is that? We love it. We love the whole children thing. So Islands of Adventure, for me, bit of a waste of money. But there you go, it doesn't matter. Got to go to it to experience it. I love the big globe that goes round at the front of the Universal Studios as well. Absolutely top. Absolutely top. Just trying to think now, actually. Oh, we went to see a film one night. Now, what was it? We actually went to see Gravity, because we finished something early one night, so we went to see Gravity at the cinema complex, which is within the Universal type thing. And that was good. I don't know, I started falling asleep, to be honest, while Gravity was on. I know it's won all these awards. I wasn't over impressed. It's very dark, the film. Do you know what I mean? You know when you go and see a film, and of course it was all in outer space, and I found it very, very dark. Oh, just a minute. Have we got... Oh, dear. 3D Focus has just told me, "Hi, Chris. I'm sorry I came to your video late. We'll catch up on the recording. Great updates from the States. Glad you had a great time." Yeah, we did. Try not to be late in future. There's actually very few people with us this morning. I don't know where everyone is. I thought you'd all be there today, waiting for my news. Never mind. I think, now where was I? Oh yes, Gravity. And the film was very dark, and I started, it wasn't that I wasn't interested in it, it was just too dark and I'm falling asleep. And I looked over at my nephew. He's fast asleep in the chair. He's got his coat on. Because he's very fashion conscious, my nephew Jimmy. Very, very fashion conscious. He's got his collar up. And I noticed he was just down like that, and he'd completely fallen asleep while this film was on. There was only about 6 of us in the cinema as well. But it was all right for a night out, and we just got a cab back to the hotel. I was a little bit worried, the fact that I hadn't got a car. When you book these holidays to Florida, generally they throw in a car as well as part of the deal. You know, they say it's free, but of course it's all part of the price. Now, we didn't have a car, but the main reason is that I get lost so easily. And getting lost in a foreign country, even if they speak English, is not good. I have been lost in Florida before, many years ago, about 1985, I think I went. That was the first time ever. Right? And I was with my ex-wife and son, and he was only very little, and we got lost. We were driving miles and miles down this road, and I did tell you this story just before we went away, and it was quite scary, really. I have been since then twice, and had a car on both occasions, which was okay. Didn't really get lost, but I didn't want that stress of becoming lost again. So I went without a car, thinking, oh, is this a good idea? Now let me tell you, if you want to go to Florida and you don't want a car, don't get one. There was no problem whatsoever. There were various free shuttles going to various places from the hotel. We stayed at the Enclave Suites, which was like, I suppose, about 2.5, 3 stars. We had 2 bedrooms and a living room, and he actually had his own. It was almost like a little. You had your own bedroom with your own bathroom attached to the bedroom. So I had that. He had exactly the same at the other side. A bedroom and a bathroom, and in between the two of us was a living room and a kitchenette, and it was fantastic. We were on the 10th floor, top floor. The view we had was really quite out of this world. We had a fantastic view. Oh, 3D Focus says he felt the same about Gravity. Great 3D, but quite boring. Yeah, I did think it was boring, that film Gravity. Didn't it win all these awards as well? I'm sure it won awards. Is it me? Just don't get it. I don't know. Now, one second. I've just got to do something. I forgot to do something here. I think. There we are. That's better. Sorry. If only there was a team of people here helping me do my bits and pieces while we're doing the show, isn't it? Yeah, it was a boring film. I thought it was all right at the beginning. I'm kind of thinking, well, something's got to happen now. Something's got to happen. It reminded me of that film. Can't remember the title of it, but it's a bloke who's been, I think he's in Afghanistan or someone like that, and he gets buried in a box in the desert, and all he's got in there is a mobile phone, and that's all you ever see, him in the box, and he's chatting away to people on the phone, come and rescue me, and they say they're getting close, and then he hears noise and he gets all excited, and little bits of sand start dropping into his box, and then at the end of the film they say, sorry, we can't find you, we're really sorry, and his phone goes dead, and that's it. It reminded me a little bit of that. That was very dark as well. Where did I see it? I think I saw that on the plane going somewhere. Can't remember where now. So we saw that at, as I say, at the cinema at Universal Studios one night. Travelling, no car, doesn't matter. You do not need a car in Florida. Okay? You don't need one. Free shuttles to various places. When there wasn't a free shuttle, you could generally get a shuttle bus and pay for it, okay, to wherever else you wanted to go. And then occasionally I got a taxi to somewhere. And the price wasn't that expensive. I suppose we spent, in the 2 weeks I was there, I suppose I spent about £150, £200 altogether on taxis and cabs, if that, probably not even that. But I expected, you know, I kept some money for that purpose. And there is also buses. There was like a trolley bus, which again you would have seen in my short videos. And these buses are like something out of the 1950s. They're all wooden inside. They've got coloured lights going down the middle, like globe lights. About 5 or 6 globe lights going down the middle of the bus. And it's playing 1950s, 1960s music. Absolutely awesome sitting on this bus. Really good. Various people getting on and off. And you only paid $2 to go up and down what's called International Drive. International Drive is where most of the hotels for the holiday are situated. Just a second. Oh, it's my friend. Just a second. Good morning. We are just on the air at the moment to 2 million viewers. It's not 2, it's 2 million. They don't put the zeros on. It's my best friend. It's not. Well, I wouldn't have thought so, no. Are you not coming over? Well, there's work to be done. There's work to be done. Well, come over after that. Oh, only about 20 minutes, half an hour. Are you bringing me a cake? Are you having dinner here? Okay, you can tell me about it in half an hour. Bring your keys. Thank you. Bye-bye. There we are. Well, lovely. A visit from my friend as well today. Where was I? Oh, yes. So I love this trolley bus. International Drive is where all the hotels, most of the hotels are situated in this area. Now, the Enclave Suites is just off International Drive. There was a very, very short walk, matter of 4 minutes, up to one of the bus stops. And as I say, we were in the middle of International Drive, and we were just surrounded by restaurants and little shops and things, all the tourist shops. You don't really want to buy anything in those tourist shops, to be honest. It's all full of tat. You know, lots of Disney stuff, which is a lot cheaper than if you buy in Disney itself. I bought a few little toys for my great niece and great nephews from those shops rather than the Disney ones, because they all look the same. They're exactly the same, except you haven't got a Disney bag. And supermarkets and that, very difficult to find any vegetables or fruit out there. I noticed that. Certainly in the restaurants, you would have to ask for it as extra. Most of the time, we ate in either TGI Fridays, which was right opposite the hotel, and another place which was just next to the hotel called Chili's, which was quite like TGI Fridays, to be honest. Now, eating in Florida, in the States, is really a completely different experience to eating in the UK. We loved these two places. In fact, almost 90% of the time we had dinner in one of those two. So you go in there and everyone is friendly. All the staff are friendly. They are smiling and they welcome you in with open arms. It's not like that here, is it? It just isn't. Hi, table for two. Yes, come right over here, please. And usually straight in. And they sit you down. Can I get your drinks? Got the drinks and that. Smiley, smiley, happy, happy. And of course, in the States, if you work in a restaurant, most of your wages are made up of tips. This is very, very important. If you're ever going to the States, you must tip people. That's how it works. It's all very well saying, oh no, well, we don't do that. We're English. No, you don't. Yes, you do. You do, because you're in their country, okay? And you do as they do. Very, very important that. You must tip people. In fact, on some of the receipts, you get the receipts for the meal. They bring over your check, don't they? And it will tell you how much the meal was. And then underneath, it might suggest amounts of tips, like 10%, 15%, or 20%. All right? So we'll come to that in a minute. So we generally had a starter and a main meal, or a main meal and a pudding. On the first night, I think I had the same items of food most of the time, because being vegetarian, there wasn't a lot of options there. But TGI Fridays, I said, have you got any vegetarian? Yeah, we got black bean burgers. She said, okay, so where's that? She said, well, that's on there. That's the black bean burger. But you can have any meal there that you want, and the meat will be replaced with a black bean burger. Oh, fantastic. And I tend to have this black bean burger every time I went in there. And that comes with chips or fries. They come with fries. And I always asked for a side plate of vegetables. If you don't ask for vegetables, you're not going to get them. There really is very little vegetable and fruit eating there. And they had the most delicious cheesecake. And we got served twice by a lady in there. Now, what was her name? She was wonderful. But all she did was talk. Talk. I loved her. We both loved her. And indeed, at the end of the holiday, we gave her quite a large tip. Absolutely, yeah. And on the first night, they put this plate in front of him. And my nephew Jimmy looked at me, he says, oh my God, look at the size of this. The portion sizes are absolutely enormous. And I must admit, I didn't have too much trouble with that, but he did, because he's a thin thing. He's a thin, very, very conscious, fashion conscious, looks conscious young boy. That's my nephew. Whereas me, I couldn't give a toss, really, what I look like anymore. So I had that, and I had the cheesecake, and he ordered a pudding as well. I don't think he ate all of it. And almost every time we went out to a meal, they'd put this food down, and he'd just look at me and say, I can't eat all that. There was a particular day that we both ordered starters. I ordered mozzarella sticks. Those cheese things that have been fried. But thinking to myself, well, If you order those at McDonald's, and I'm not one to really go in McDonald's. Oh, by the way, how much do you think a Big Mac is in the States at the moment? $2. $2 for a Big Mac. Cheap, innit? I order these mozzarella sticks, remembering if you order them in McDonald's, you get this little box. There's about 4 of them in there, and they're the size of a small chicken nugget, aren't they? So I ordered mozzarella sticks for a starter. My God, this plate came out, and there were 6 enormous mozzarella sticks on there. Bigger than fish fingers. That was just the starter. And then along came the burger and the chips. He, on this particular day, decided he would have nachos. So I thought, well, what he'd get is, a bowl of, like, crisps with a bit of cheese on the top or something like that. No, he got this great big plate. And there were 6, I think it was either 6 or 8 nachos. They were the size of, I don't know, the size of a large roll of sellotape each. They put this thing down. And he says, I can't eat all that. I said, well, you're going to have to. You're not wasting food here. So I think he had 3 of them, by which time the main meal arrived. He said, well, I can't just leave them. I said, well, just order a box. Ask for a box and you can take them out with you, and we'll throw them away. You won't want them later because they'll go all soggy, nachos. Besides, we were having meals. We were having our main dinner at 10 o'clock at night, just before bed. Which I have to tell you, played a bit of havoc with my stomach. My stomach really didn't like that. We were having too large, too late. You probably get away with a large meal if you have it during lunchtime and you can walk some of it off, can't you? But we were having these meals and then going back and almost immediately disappearing to our rooms and going to bed. So that probably wasn't doing us much good. The other thing in the restaurants is that you buy a Coke. That's it. You only buy one. As the glass goes down, another 2 just seem to arrive automatically, and you're not charged for any more. It just comes, and everything is there. As I say, it's so different to eating out here. You order a meal, it comes. You want anything else? Pickles or tomato sauce or anything, you just ask and it comes, and that's it, all included in the one price. None of this always an extra 15 pence for some tomato sauce or an extra 10 pence for some mayonnaise and all this business. There's none of that. And the service is so good. There was not one occasion where we had a miserable waiter or a waitress. There was Chili's. As I say, that was just up the road. And when I went there, I generally had their pizza, which was just so nice. So nice. And the same situation with the drinks. You order one and then more just keep coming. They don't even ask. They just put it down next to you. And all these places are so clean, so clean. The staff are nice, and I gave them a good tip every single time, which of course they appreciate. From the Americans, that's quite normal. That's what you have to do. You have to don't as I say, don't not give them a tip because you're not used to giving the tips. That's what they do there, and you must comply with how it is. Fantastic meals. Wish we had something. It's not like that TGI Fridays there, and we never paid. Okay, I remember the first check came, and I opened this. This is on the Friday night when we got there. I opened this little wallet thing, and there was the total. Now we had 2 starters. No, first night was two main meals, and 2 puddings and 2 Cokes. $38. Just about £25 for 2 of us, and we were stuffed. You couldn't move afterwards. Really large meals. Just, and that's what it was every night. It really was. Excuse me, I'm just going to blow my nose, dear. That's what it was every night. No more than 25, 26, 27 pounds for 2 large meals. We ate out virtually every night. There's only one night we didn't eat out. I can't remember why it was. We got there so late. We were both tired. I just got some soup from the little supermarket over the road, vegetable soup or something like that. Oh, and the side of vegetables I had as well. Amazing. Just amazing. Did we eat anywhere else? I think we went in Starbucks a lot, because that's the only place in the States that seems to know how to make a cup of tea. I said that before, didn't I? I remember I was in Vegas a couple of years ago, and in New York last year, wasn't I? And the only people that can make a proper cup of tea are Starbucks, and you go and ask for Wake Me Up tea. I think it's called Wake Me Up. Can't remember it, or black leaf tea, and then make that properly for you, and that's all right. Starbucks. I had a Starbucks in some of the Disneys, and we went in there a few times, and the Starbucks in the shopping centre. The shopping is unbelievable. I mean, I bought labelled clothes. Usually here in the UK, I'll only buy cheap clothes. I don't believe in spending £100 or more on a pair of jeans. I just wouldn't do it. Certainly not. In the States, those same pair of jeans are about £25, £26, £27. Ralph Lauren jeans. How much are they in the UK? You go there in these outlet shops, and they're like $25, $26, they're $59. T-shirts. Again, I've got a little Lacoste T-shirt on today. Can you see this? With a little crocodile or whatever it is. Is it a crocodile? I think it's a crocodile. Little crocodile motif on it. It's quite nice. I've had this a few days now. Not on a few days. Okay? And I paid 30 quid for this. $59. No, $49. It was buy 3. If you buy 3, you get them for $49 each. It was about 30 quid. 25, 30 quid. How much are these in the UK? About £70, £75. I wouldn't give anyone £75 for a bloody T-shirt. You must be off your rocker. Good quality stuff. He bought a watch, a Seiko watch. Beautiful watch. $80. About 50 quid. A beautiful watch, which will last him for years and years. Sunglasses. Calvin Klein sunglasses. $59. Everything seems to be $59, isn't it? Which is about £35. They're over £100 here. I honestly would not spend that money on sunglasses. Over in the States, you can do it. And it's generally the same with everything. How can it be the enormous price differences between stuff there and here? 3D Focus says, you're so right, Chris. I took your advice and had a Wake Me Up tea from Starbucks and was hooked. Oh, it's lovely, that tea, isn't it? You can buy... it's the same tea over here, but they don't call it that. I think it's just called black tea, but it's very expensive. Very expensive, that tea. I personally buy Twinings English breakfast tea. That's the tea I have at home. They use a different brand of tea here. Not Tazo. That's it, Tazo. Tazo Wake Me Tea. That's what it's called in the States, Tazo. Like not Tazo like they do in the States, but isn't it the best? Yes, it is. Starbucks black tea. It really is very, very nice. You've got to try some, boys and girls. Okay? Try some of that tea. So what else? SeaWorld. That was good. SeaWorld, again, if you saw the videos, we did a video in SeaWorld and we were able to feed the fish, the stingrays. You get these fish. It says, feed the fish $5. Right? So I went over and said, oh, we'd like to feed the fish, please. He said, $5. Give him the $5. And he took out the fridge this tiny little box with 3 minuscule fish in it. And I thought, $5 for those? But, you know, fair enough. You don't have to buy it, do you? And what you do, they've got this big tank of the stingrays going. Are they stingrays? Yes, stingrays. I think going around. Or those flatfish. Are they stingrays? I can't remember now. The flatfish that are like that are lovely things they are. And you put the fish on your hand and you put it down right on the bottom, and this thing sucks up the fish out of your hand. You can actually touch these fishes, stroke them. Beautiful, beautiful feeling they are. They're kind of friendly, aren't they? Stingrays. They look friendly. That bloke died, didn't he? That Australian bloke. He got attacked by a stingray once, but he must have pissed it off. You know, these animals don't attack for no reason. He must have felt threatened for some reason. He was a little bit. I know he was very popular in Australia, but I think possibly he got a little bit too confident. You know, you shouldn't be so confident around what are basically wild animals all the time, aren't they? By the way, there's an email if you want to join in at any time. The email address, whether you're with us live or watching a recording, it'd be lovely to have you. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. If you ever want to see our daily videos, we do short daily videos. Monday to Saturday. There's not one on Sundays, okay? Monday to Saturday, short daily videos. You can find those by going to youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. Now, helicopter. We did a helicopter ride. Took them out on a helicopter ride. We were out there for about... They did say it was 15 minutes, but I'm sure we were out there longer than that. And he took us round over the various flats. That was fantastic. That was fantastic because he's never been in a helicopter before. So that was great. I have to say, I've never taken away someone that you have to look after. I've always gone on holiday either on my own or with friends. Quite often, with friends, it's not worked out too well. We've always had rows and things like that. When you go on your own, you're a little bit lonely sometimes. You know how it is. Taking someone that you have to look after, even though he's 16, right? So people would say, "Oh no, he's old enough." No, to me, he's still like that high. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure you feel the same if you've got children or nieces and nephews yourself. Taking someone away that you have to look after is a completely different thing. And let me tell you, I had the best holiday ever making sure that someone else was okay. It didn't bother me if I didn't want to do something or something like that. The only thing I had to put my foot down was I'm not going on a roller coaster. I'm not going on any roller coasters. And he went on one on himself. Which was fine, you know, because I'm quite happy in these theme parks to just sit down on a bench and watch. You know, there's so much going on in these places. So I went and got myself, guess what, a Starbucks tea. Sat down on a bench, and the wait for this particular ride was 45 minutes. It was the Aerosmith roller coaster. And he went and queued up, and I said, right, I'll be over there. And I just sat there and drunk my tea, and it was sort of a little bit chilly that day. Generally, the weather was between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit most of the time, which is about 15 to 25 degrees centigrade. Okay, somewhere between that. Except on 2 days where the temperature dropped quite dramatically. That happens in Florida. There are very wide fluctuations in temperature. One day it can be 80 degrees. The next day it was 55. That's a big drop. So we went out in coats, but not a problem. You know, I bought a hat in Disney, a little woolen hat, because I didn't expect I would need a hat, but I bought one in Disney, and he had a hood, so he was happy, and we were all right. You know, warm, walking around. But I was quite happy to sit there and wait for him to do this ride. I think that only happened once. It was either once or twice that happened. He wanted to go on the roller coaster, and he was scared of roller coasters. I was really surprised he went on it. His main thing is not the speed of the roller coaster, but the height. He was concerned, and he would ask me, "Can you tell me how high this is, please?" And she said, "Well, it's no higher than the building there. It's actually in the building." He'd be quite happy with that, and on he went. I said, what was it like? He said, that was really scary, but I liked it. And we kept eating popcorn. Every time I saw popcorn, oh, let's get some more popcorn. Is that good for you or not, popcorn? I'm not quite sure. Ice creams, well, yeah, we started getting into those towards the end of the week. There's a particular ice cream shop in Magic Kingdom. And as you go into Magic Kingdom, you walk down the row of shops either side of you. And at the end, on the right, on the corner, I think it's Mickey's Ice Cream Shop. You've got to go in there for just $5. You get this big bowl of various different types of ice cream. Oh, it's delicious. Not so much fun eating it when it's cold, but you have to have one while you're there. So, an absolutely outstanding, fantastic holiday I've had. And I would highly recommend, if you've ever got someone young to take with you, then do it. Because it puts a completely different perspective on the holiday. It really does. You have to make sure that they are having a good time. And only twice in those 2 weeks did Jimmy utter those immortal words, "What are we doing now?" So I think I did a good job. I had a fantastic time. And I was really sad when I had to hand him back over to his mum and dad, my sister and her husband, who met us at Gatwick Airport. And that was a bit of a journey home from there because, unfortunately, the plane was very early. We had to tailwind, and instead of coming in at 7:30, we got in at about 10 to 7. So we made up an awful lot of time. Unfortunately, Gatwick Airport weren't ready for us, so we had to then sit on the plane for half an hour while these bits and pieces were happening, while my sister and her husband were waiting for us at the airport. Now, my sister's husband, Martin, also does a lot of videos. They're not like this. They're not like sitting here talking to you. He does a lot of family videos and how-to videos. And you can look at his YouTube. His most recent videos are showing you how to build a shed. Him and his son, my nephew Gary, have built a shed together. Not a shed from a kit. This is a shed where he's gone out and bought the wood and sawed it to size, banged it together, worked out how big it was. Very, very impressed. I was watching his video last night because I had a night off last night. And I was watching the shed video. I'm really impressed. And he's got lots of other videos on there. How to repair generators, how to repair lawnmowers and all that. He gets a hell of a lot more viewers than me. There's like some thousands of people watch his videos. I'm lucky to get a couple of hundred. But it doesn't matter. I'm happy here, sitting here with my couple of hundred people. Please, please, spread the word. Spread the word. If you want to have a look at his videos, write this down. youtube.com/retro store. RETROSTORE. Okay? Once again, youtube.com/retro store. RETROSTORE. And that's my brother-in-law's Martin YouTube channels. There's so much to look at for their gardening, all sorts on there. And he did have a camera with him when he came to pick up Jimmy and myself from the airport. And this is what he filmed when as we came through the airport. You won't have seen this one. All right. Of course, if you're just listening, that's okay as well. Lots of people just listen to the show rather than watch as well. It's all for the listeners as well. You get the general idea when you hear that. So here's that little piece of film.
Jimmy and Christopher are now here from America. Here we go. Look, we've been waiting for an hour. Look.
Come to mummy.
The two travellers. Come here, boy. Come here, my son.
What are you feeling for?
Hey. All right, Chris.
Terrible.
Well done, mate. Thanks for looking after him. Thanks for looking after him.
Had the best holiday ever with anyone.
Yeah?
That's true, yeah.
I thought you were fighting like cat and dog, the pair of you, when you was on the camera.
Part of the entertainment.
Right, coming in. So we're going to drop Chris off home first and probably have a cup of tea, and then we've got another 3-hour journey. So we'll see you again in a minute.
That's all I've had on the way here with Chris.
What?
Farting.
Sorry?
You know. No, I've got in the car. You.
What, and you haven't?
That's got it.
That's it.
There we go.
Breakfast the other day, yeah? He had beans.
That was the worst thing I could possibly have done.
I fell asleep on the plane.
Not on top of it, in it.
Candy floss is my new best thing, and churros.
What's churros?
Oh, cinnamon stick.
Churros.
You say that as if we should know.
It's a cinnamon stick.
What, like a donut?
In a stick though.
It's a popsicle,
Like
isn't it?
that.
They call them popsicles, don't they?
Like that cinnamon stick.
What was I saying? You not keep putting me off.
You had 3 one after. And he kept this one particular day. He had 3 three cinnamon sticks. I think he had in this in Universal. That was all Universal were doing, the cinnamon sticks. Anyway, boys and girls, that's my little holiday. Of course, I went to see Barry Manilow as well on the Saturday night. Sadly, Jimmy didn't want to come and see Barry. By the way, we have a new Barry Manilow calendar now. There's the January picture sent in to me from the lovely Wendy. Thank you very much, Wendy, whose husband isn't too well at the moment, so I hope he gets better soon, Wendy. But thank you very much for sending me the January 2014 Barry Manilow calendar. And there he is, sitting up there in front of me, behind me, with his purple jacket on. You may have noticed that the studio looks a little bit different. I now have proper lighting, proper video lighting in the studio. You can't see it, but either side of me are like 2 umbrella things with very bright white lights, and I hope that's sorted out all the lighting problems that we're having since I got a new video camera in front of me. I'll finish off today. Oh, we've got to mention Brandon. Hello, Brandon, who is a young lad who's been with us now, a couple of months now, haven't you? Watching the shows, but you never send in an email. You must send in an email, Brandon, so that we can read it out on the show for you. Okay? Finally then, today we've got an email here from young James, who says, "Hi Chris." James is in South East London. "Hi Chris, I'm doing this email now, as I didn't think you would get this email before you went away. I hope you had a great holiday." Oh, we did. Best holiday ever. "It was good seeing some of your short shows too while you was away. I like the historical recordings with your family." Oh yes, there's a video up there that's got a tape of an old family tape that has been discovered. It's about 45 minutes long, but I made, I think, Thursday's show on YouTube about that. Once again, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. That's where you'll find all the daily shows. Hit the subscribe button as well if you want to. And it's got my mum and dad and me chatting on it. 1964. I was 1. My first broadcast. Also, is Ronnie better now? I know he was having some trouble with his back. No, he's not. He's got something wrong with one of his discs, and it's going to take months. He does come swimming with me some mornings, and he says that does kind of help relieve the pressure, I think, when you go in water and all that. So no, he's not better at all. His back's still quite bad. "Did you get caught up in the polar vortex at all? You've certainly come back to some nice weather." What, all the rain? I hardly call this nice weather, James, here. Do you? No, didn't get caught up in the polar vortex. That was a little bit further north. But there were 2 days where it did get quite cold. When I say cold, though, it would be 10 degrees. 10 to about 12 degrees, something like that. So that's what I mean by cold, which isn't, I mean, it's not freezing cold, is it? But it went from like 25 to 15 in a day, and it certainly felt colder than it was. All right, boys and girls, that's it for the show today. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget you can join up to all the YouTube videos by going to youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. Alright, if you'd like to send in an email, it'd be lovely to hear from you. I'd like to read out the emails on the show. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And I nearly forgot. Got an audio recording here from Cyber John. who sends this in to us this week. I thought I must play this. We'd
Hi
be ever
Chris,
so annoyed if we
glad
don't play
you've
this.
had a great time in
Oh,
Florida.
hang on a minute. What have I done?
My dad went there in 1985 and visited the Epcot Centre.
1 minute.
Where they have
One
the
minute.
Apollo
Shut up.
Moonshot Museum and
Hang on.
Disneyland, of course.
I'll start it again.
Hi Chris, glad you've had a great time in Florida. My dad went there in 1985 and visited the Epcot Centre, where they have the Apollo Moonshot Museum and Disneyland, of course. Now, regarding your podcast on Wednesday, I had an ex who looked like a witch when she was 18. In fact, she became a Wiccan after that, after I dumped her. But all her magic and stuff, it didn't stop her hitting 18 stones in weight, and she now rides a reinforced Harley Davidson up Route 66 across the pond. Okay, question. Don't you find that although Americans speak our language, there is something, I don't know, call it a feeling, that having conversations with them can sometimes be hard work? The words are the same, but the context is not always understood. My old professor, who was from Pennsylvania, once told me he would never go back. Why? Because, he said, they're all mad. Now, I can relate to that to a degree, and I feel more comfortable in Frankfurt than Frankenmuth in Virginia. Crossing the road in the wrong place in Philly nearly got me a gun to the head by a cop, and my hotel room in Virginia was covered in pictures of Washington's men fighting our redcoats and winning. Don't get me wrong, I love America, and your US callers are intelligent and interested in us. I think there should be more cross-fertilisation. However, only 12% of Americans have a passport. They simply have everything they want over there. But, and it's a big but, if that last picture of my ex is anything to go by, there are more differences between us than, say, the Dutch. Take, for instance, the American rock songs and compare them with stuff from the UK. The success of the 70s invasion of America by Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, etc. was due to a different style and sheer quality of our acts. Conversely, the Grateful Dead at the same time never made it big here. American-oriented rock sounds more curvy, especially in regard to guitar-based tunes. Bands such as Jethro Tull, Marillion and the Sisters of Mercy are jangly, upright, more open-sounded, whereas Nirvana, Guns N' Roses and The Doors are smoother, laid-back and internal. As a musician, I can tell the difference between an American and a British guitar player every time. The Americans took punk and they did something to it, something different, with the likes of, say, the Ramones. Now even Australia has a sound of its own. Just take the Hothouse Flowers and In Excess. There's something they take from the surroundings and the history and even original indigenous musicians. The British and American armies in World War II were fundamentally contrasting establishments. Watch Band of Brothers and you see soldiers wearing what they want, complaining about their situation and chewing gum. None of that was tolerated in the British Army. We were more like the Wehrmacht in our way of thinking. Buttons must shine and the hierarchy obeyed. We were astounded in 1917 to see the bodies of blue-eyed tall GIs with perfect teeth lying dead in World War I. How could these giants be killed? That was the mystery of the time. Now, if you have a problem, then over here you keep it under your hat and stay stiff upper-lipped. Over there, they stop by at their psychiatrist. I don't know which is better. A jar of marmalade in a Kroger's store over there read, "Eaten by the English, we are thankful we don't have bad teeth like them." It's true, we do have bad teeth. The attitude in some states to liquor, for example, is overly authoritative. It's almost as if you are purchasing pornography in a bottle. Oh, don't mention porn. Shouldn't mention porn. The country which objects loudest to the baring of a breast by Janet Jackson produces more explicit films than anyone else worldwide.
Huh?
As I crossed the Mackinac Bridge to Canada, it joins Canada to the US, I was told by the border guard, "Don't expect to redeem any purchases in terms of tax." I didn't understand then what this warning encompassed, but heard the underlying driving message. Money is important this side of the border. In Canada, I found a complete reversal of attitude. Overly polite Europeans that are ensconced on the wrong side of the pond. However, an American will tell you what they are thinking. The food. I was brought a salad to go with the chicken and fries I bought at a hotel. I provoked amusement when I muttered, "I did not order it." It was a side dish, and it was free, along with the massive meal that I'd ordered. A burger I bought kept me going for 2 days. The bacon, though, wasn't much cop. I'll tell you something. If I stayed over there for 6 months or so, I would have put on 3 stones. No wonder my ex is gravitationally challenged. So America, we love you. But if I had picked up a partner from the Star-Spangled States, there would have been a high probability of a difficult relationship. Unless, of course, they were one of those open-minded passport wielders or callers to English shows. God bless America, but remember, England is Mary's dowry.
Thank you, Cyber John, for your little bit of audio this week. I almost forgot there. You wouldn't forgive me if I forgot that, would you? Eh? Thank you, Cyber John. Much appreciated. I know what you say about the crossing the roads in the States is a bit strange. I don't think you're actually allowed to walk across the road. End of. You've got to go to the traffic lights and use one of the crossings like that as well. And I completely understand what you mean about the American language. Often, actually Marge quite a lot. She just doesn't get our sense of humour a lot of the time. And we find sometimes that Marge might put a comment on my Facebook wall, and I understand from the comment that she didn't get the humour, for example. Other people will see her comment and not understand that she didn't understand the humour, and the other people can tend to get quite upset by that. Now, I've noticed that on there. Sometimes I've seen comments and thought, oh, should I remove those? And then I think, no, free speech, you know, if that's what you think, put it on there. I don't think there's an answer to that one, really, is there? You know, if you don't get the sense of humour, personally, if I didn't get the sense of humour, I wouldn't say anything. But sometimes people want to put a comment, so they put it on there, certainly on my Facebook wall, and I just leave it, and that's really up to them. I've just spotted a pair of my new sunglasses in front of me here. I love it. These are for cycling. I love these glasses I bought from the States. I wasn't going to buy some of these, but on the very last day, we had some money left over. And I said, "Oh, they're nice, Jimmy. How much are they?" And they were quite. These were a little bit more than the. These were actually a lot more than the Calvin Klein ones I bought. And Jimmy says, "Oh, go on, buy it." So, "Oh, they're quite dear." He says, "You've got all that money. You know, we're going home in a few hours," because this was on the last day. We went shopping just to spend the money, really, and I still didn't spend all of it. So I bought these. Nice, aren't they? Anyway, I'm going now. Thank you very much for ringing, boys and girls. Thanks very much for watching and listening. Once again, the email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. The next live show is next Saturday at 12 o'clock, midday UK time. And don't forget the daily short videos, Monday through to Saturday. They're only a couple of minutes long. You'll find at youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. You have a nice Saturday. I'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye now.